Ashleigh, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Now, how long have you been with TCI for?
I joined TCI in November 2019.
Okay, fantastic. So
Almost a year, coming up to a
almost a
year.
year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
awesome. I love that. And so what actually inspired you to become a coach? What was the thing that said, you know what, I'm gonna do coaching?
Yeah. I have a training and assessment background, so teaching, and I went on a massive personal development journey, I think roughly around the age of 28. And doing that, I faced a lot of my own personal challenges, as well as finding a lot of people who are facing similar challenges and watching how they were going on their journey. And loving teaching is something that I've always done. I've actually called my coaching business Students of Life because I've always wanted to be a teacher. But after feeling my way through the personal development field, I decided to become a teacher of life as opposed to a teacher of a curriculum.
Mm,
Yeah, kind of how I found my way to coaching. I think coaching and a little bit of mentoring, but coaching is my thing.
got it. So tell me a little bit more about like students of life, because I really connect with that. And I think that you'll have probably even more insight to share being a teacher and being someone who's worked in the schooling system. Were you very aware that we're not teaching kids enough of what we need to be teaching them? Like there's a gap when it comes to education about self, education about relationships, and what's your view on that?
Yeah, well, that's actually sort of where I started. So I started as a youth worker working in schools, and I was teaching what we would call better choices programs, which is basically ethics. And that's something that just like life skills, but ethics, something that wasn't enough of at the time in the schools. Kind of went from teaching high school to teaching adults. My youngest was becoming a teenager, and I didn't really want to be teaching teenagers at home and at school and at work. So I chose to move towards adult education. But it was also more how they felt being taught and wanting to be in that space. So I gravitated more towards that because that's where I felt like I resonated with that little bit more.
Yeah.
And it kind of really helped me to understand too that a lot of people don't get asked just questions about life and about themselves and about how they feel and even why they're doing what they're doing, the courses they're choosing, the decisions they're making. That's pretty massive, I suppose, and something that when we're coaching, we get to ask questions that might seem like they're not the most important questions, but they could also be questions that people have never even thought to have answered or been asked before.
It's very true. And I think it's a really great insight of the power of coaching. To have
100%.
someone sit there and listen and ask you questions you maybe never thought about these questions before, and then we start getting new insights.
Yeah.
When you said yes to coaching, what was that moment like for you? Was it a big deal? Was it an easy yes? Were you worried? Were you scared? Were you like, what was it for you?
I just felt like that at the time was my benchmark for success. It was the moment that I stepped away from thinking that I had to work in this 9 to 5, what I almost even call a box. It was the moment where I felt like I could step away from that and actually say yes to me. I actually felt like this massive rush of what I would call success, what I would call happiness, what I would call like feeling in flow with myself and my life. It was a really exciting moment, and my mum was actually with me. I joined TCI when Sharon was on her Ultimate You tour, and I joined with Sharon Pearson there. She did her amazing bow, which was just so beautiful. It was like an honor. It was really, really cool. And I joined with my mum. We actually joined together, which was really, really exciting. And I just felt really proud of the decision I made for myself.
What were you proud about?
I was proud for saying yes to me. I was proud saying yes to something that I felt in every part of my body was where I wanted to be. I felt in that moment like this was my next step, and just proud that I made that step for myself. It felt scary, yes. There was a lot of nerves there, And it was the decision in that moment that I just said, I'm actually doing something for myself. Yeah.
I reckon our culture pretty much teaches us, in a way, don't do things for yourself, do things only for others. And so I love what you've said, because I think it's a significant point in at all of our journeys where we say, I'm doing this for me, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking after myself and I'm investing in myself. And the biggest return that we always get is on the energy and the care and the love and the time that we put on ourselves. That's the biggest return always. And also, I think it's a great thing to realize that sometimes you're the only person that can do that. You can't, no one can say yes for you. You just say yes for yourself.
100%. I know that having my mum there was really great because I was able to talk to her about it. But it was just like I had this amazing cheerleader beside me, just saying, this is fantastic. You're doing this for you. And I'm so grateful for that relationship that I have with her. There was no need for me to question the decision I was making, because I felt in every part of me, in my heart, that this is my next step. And also stepping away from the education system as well. Like, that felt like a big jump for me, moving from the job that I was doing to where I thought I was going, I suppose, with my career, towards taking a step for myself and a kind of living life by my own design.
And so tell us a little bit about what you're doing right now. So I know that you're setting up your business, you're working with clients. You were sharing with me just before the interview that you just worked with clients all this morning, which is wonderful. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, what you're loving about it.
Yeah. So once coaching became my sole focus, and I have to say it was probably the moment I started working with the Coaching Institute, I was so excited about what I was learning, being a student of life myself. It was like I just felt like I could just eat all of the knowledge. I can honestly say I threw myself into it because I chose that to be my next step. I launched my business in March. So was that 4 months after joining the Coaching Institute. And I instantly started working with people straight away. Already having the sort of feel for working with people, which was great. But now I have my own online membership program where I have students of life who come to me from all walks of life, honestly, men and women. And we work together one-on-one as well as in a group setting. I do one-to-one coaching still, so I work one-on-one with clients. And I'm also doing something really exciting where I'm launching leadership programs with a couple of community organizations as policies are changing at the moment during COVID times. And that seems to sort of be something that I can really work on at the moment, putting myself out there, is designing programs. And I suppose with my teaching background, I love content creating. So it's just something I enjoy.
I love how I can see like you light up when you talk about it. You're very excited about the work that you're doing. And are you enjoying running a business, working from home? Can you show them what you showed me before? You're beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yes, that is definitely the view from my office, which is
full countryside. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, working from home. So I have 3 kids, and I also have 2 dogs and a sheep and all the things. And I created a space within my home for me. Like, it's just a little back room, but it's my office.
Yeah.
And I do feel like home is there and my work is here, and I get to step into my space, which is beautiful. It helped me really tap into my creativity because I was able to create a space for me. I'd like to say less children, but occasionally I step on the odd piece of Lego. But it is really, really great because I still get to be home. I still get to do all the things I need to do, as well as with the children and everything. It's great.
I love it. I love how you've stepped into your creativity and you've created your own space. And I love how it's like work for you. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's your workspace versus your home space.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool. Now, tell us a little bit about how you've grown personally. What about your journey over the last just under a year of being here at TCI? One of my favorite things about the journey is that we are growing ourselves at the same time. As we're helping and serving, we're always learning. What's that been for you?
That's actually been pretty massive for me. And I'd have to say it was another big tick into why I said yes to working with the Coaching Institute. It really enmeshed my personal development journey with my learning and growth for my business, as well as supporting beautiful humans. That's what I love to do. So it was like this just beautiful amalgamation of all the things. And it supports my personal development journey. So I've actually learned so much in ways of communication, in ways of understanding, and in ways of supporting other people. But also I can really say that carries on to my family. It carries on to the way that I communicate in my relationships as well as with my children.
I think that when it comes to family, it's one of the most important things, because there is no real guidebook on how to raise kids, on how to be with them. And, you know, we learn from our family, and sometimes we do the same. Sometimes we try and just do the opposite because it wasn't that good. And I love that coaching gives us a pretty good framework for, you know, this is how you communicate with more love. This is why warmth is important. This is how to language it. This is how to help someone feel heard, for example. And so I trust that all of that is something that's really helping a lot.
Yeah, most definitely. 100%.
Awesome. So Ashleigh, congratulations on what you've achieved. You've come so far in such a small amount of time. And I just love how much you love the work. That's my favorite thing. It's whenever you talk about your clients, your eyes like go all light up and everything. And what would you say to someone who is inspired by your story and is thinking about joining TCI and becoming a coach themselves?
Yeah, just that feeling you get when you think about doing it. Say yes to you. That's what I did, and it definitely changed things for me. Massive.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashleigh. You have yourself a wonderful day, and thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
High five.
Yes.